Taking off the glasses, folks. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave Strider. I'm an independent candidate running for the office of U.S. Senate here in the state of Washington. Being an independent means this to me, and it should to you. I am not tied into the dogma of a particular party. I am an independent. The only voice I hear is yours. Not just this particular group of people, but the whole of Washington. Decisions that we will make here together in Washington could affect the rest of the nation. And that's one thing I cannot do, is make a bill that benefits one over the other. Single bills, nothing added to them except things that make them work. Okay? Your voice will help those bills become a reality. Doesn't that sound real good? That's why I, Dave Strider, am asking for your vote in the primaries coming up in 2017. I want you to stay tuned to me. I want you to give me questions so that I can answer those things for you. Now, I don't know how many people are here, but if you get a chance to tune in, this is what you'll hear. Okay? This is what you'll hear. That was a pod of orcas. I'd like to say goodnight to, or hello to Tommy and Michael, who have joined us. And that was the orcapod, some of the orcapods that are here in the Puget Sound. I reported last night that there was an orca that was found dead, and it showed that it had starved to death. The Puget Sound is a very rich habitat with fish that supply industrial needs, sports needs, and our orcapods. But for some reason, that particular orca did not have a belly full of fish. Our salmon runs are depleting out here as part of the environment. And now we have something else that's going to come in and possibly cause more additional pollution. We should be taking this step now, this initial step now, instead of going with an LNG plant. We need to take this step now and go into building our infrastructure. If we are going to have the species like the orca whales and other whales here in the Puget Sound, am I a scientist? No, Michael. But does it, what I'm talking about, does it make sense? I mean, I try to read up on all this stuff before I start talking about it. And then when I see, because I worked in agriculture, I know a little bit about animals and what they need, wildlife and domesticated. And I know that there's ways that you have to take care of them. I've done hydrofarming too. That's raising catfish, perch, bass, that type of thing. Not so much to stock ponds, but for food. It sounds like I'm a scientist. Well, I take that as a compliment then. I think that, you know, we all need to keep learning. If we learn something new every day, that makes us a better person. It gives us a greater depth of knowledge and understanding about the way other people think and what other people do. And so I think that maybe, just maybe, and thank you, Michael, I appreciate that. And I think just maybe we might be able to move forward. But I think that perhaps we need to put a halt on the LNG plant and concentrate on our infrastructure. We need to expand our infrastructure and not play catch up. Our highways are full evidence of that. You try to travel in the Puget Sound during certain hours, there is squid tie, you know, gridlock. It's not good. And hello, Tommy. We have to watch what we do. We're overpopulating some of the infrastructures that are around here now. And what it does, more like I didn't know. That's right, you're in the Puget Sound, aren't you, Michael? So I'm just wondering, you know, where are, you know, appointed and elected leaders, you know, got the ideas for some of these highways? In the event of a catastrophic event, there's not very many outlets to go by, not very many at all. Our rail system is inadequate for moving large amounts of people. Our highways and stuff, one accident, boom. I mean, you've got backups all the way to Seattle from Federal Way. We have to think about what we're doing. So, by taking care of our environment, by not putting that in there, that LNG plant, and instead building our infrastructure, a desalinization plant, and additional water treatment plants, boost up our water systems, both providing clean water as well as a treatment plant to treat any water or waste, recycle it, whatever, like Tagro. And we could also then, there will be portions that will be environmentally safe. Well, we need to raise those standards up now because those standards right now aren't enough. Perhaps you should have double filters. That means it goes from the main treatment plants, gets everything out, and the same procedure that would have dumped it in there gets dumped into another water treatment system. I know it's going to cost more, but in the long run, we'll appreciate it. Okay? We will appreciate it in the long run, especially the sportsmen, fishermen, the divers. There'll be a greater appreciation of the environment, our aqua environment. I know the first people would like it, but we need to start about the infrastructure and get it squared away. We need to make sure that we fix those swimming rounds that we created for the salmon. They need to be better. Okay? They just need to be better. It's hard for them fish to do certain things. Yes, they do. I mean, you cannot, you know, you've got to, if there's something that interests you, and I find this probably places that I actually have the time to sit down and talk, because, you know, you go into an appointment and it's usually 45 minutes, an hour later, you're going in. I don't have a problem with that because it gives me a chance to catch up on some of my favorite reading. It's not that they're against science as much as they are being able to maintain control. And by using religion, theocracy, they've believed that they can have people doing things, believing this: the earth is 6,000 years old. Well, let me give you a hint. A day to God is as 1,000 years to us. So multiply that day, which is 365 times a year. And it doesn't matter how long the sun stays up, it's still a day, 24 hours, 365, right? Okay, multiply that by 1,000, all right? Now multiply that number by 6,000, and you're going to come into the billions of years that this earth has been around. So science is a necessary tool that we need to use. I'm not disregarding anyone's faith. I, too, am a man of faith. But I think that you need to take things out of the extreme. The faith that I have is the way that I want to live, the way I want to treat people, the way I want people to treat me. Okay? I don't want to have anybody steal from me. I don't want anyone to steal from you. I want us to live comfortably. I want us to be able to enjoy life, enjoy our friends. So get off this religious kick, people. Okay? Just get off of it. If you've read anything in that book, you know that your Lord and Savior coerced with homosexuals, ladies of the night, thieves, who were known as tax collectors, people with all kinds of ailments. He wouldn't have fit in today's society for you. He wouldn't have. And all these mega million churches, yes, I believe in science, okay? And those heretics who don't. I mean, damn it, Daniel said that wisdom would grow by leaps and bounds. Men would go to and fro. Think about it, Christians, you evangelicals, okay? No one knows when Jesus is going to come back. Only the Father, and you can't make the Father do what you want to do. Okay? I hope I set myself straight. This is how I feel about it. Okay? You have in this country, in fact, any place in this world, you have the freedom of your faith. No one should tell you how to manage your faith, as long as your faith is not harming someone else. That's how I feel. So go pray to whoever you want, meditate to whoever you wish to. I don't care. I encourage you to. Okay? It's your right as a human on this planet. That's how I feel. Okay. No, 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 no. Try billions of years, Michael. Try billions. You multiply 365, you get 365,000. Okay, multiply 365,000 times 6,000 years. And that's the answer that the world has been around, or a closer proximity than what the Bible thumpers are talking about. Okay, it's into the billions. All right, gives time for the dinosaurs to come here. It gives time for a couple meteors or comets to hit us. Or, I mean, it gives us time for a lot of things. So, I mean, let's use science to explore. I mean, I want to go out there. I'm probably too old for that, but I think if nanotechnology were to develop, I think that we could rebuild our systems, our bodies, go in and attack the disease, whichever is attacking you. If you are a smoker, it goes in, the nanobots go in and remove the nicotine that is causing the habit, removes that drug from your body, all traces of it. You just pee it out or poop it out, You're healthier because of that. Your lungs are better now. Okay? At least they believe in something. That's what I think. Yeah, and that's important. You don't have to. I mean, the biggest joke in the Marine Corps is that, there's never an atheist in the foxhole. Okay? It's just, I never had a chance to experience that. I mean, I've been in a couple of fortified positions, but, it's, don't ever mock anyone's faith. I mean, if you are a man of faith or a woman of faith, don't mock someone, don't criticize someone for what they're doing, unless they're sacrificing small children. And then it's time to maybe step up to the plate and mention it to them that that's not cool. Go get some plastic doll babies or something, and pretend, fill them full of blood or something, pretend. Don't use real people. I mean, it is Halloween month, so I guess we can talk about that kind of stuff, right? And I was going to say really something nasty about this orange juice, but I changed my mind. I want our local leaders, okay, here in Tacoma, Vancouver, Seattle, Bremerton, wherever there's a port, wherever there's a city that is sprouting out of the close to the water. Okay? I think you all need to create your own desalination plants. Upgrade your infrastructure here in Washington. And instead of putting in a petrol field, use what? Create a desalination plant to increase your water supply. Also, create a water treatment plant. Okay? Infrastructure first, before you do any kind of really serious development. This LNG plant that's coming here to Tacoma is not a good thing. I could see tax dollars and everything else and jobs created with an environmentally sound water treatment plant, state of the art, and also a desalination plant providing Tacoma proper with all the water they would need and more. Can you see the advantages of using what is available to us so much closer than draining our aquifers? I think so. I think we could do that. I think we should do that. It'll give us a chance to clean up the environment too. I think that's what we should do. Our tax dollars And those tax dollars that we gather here in the state of Washington should be well spent. And any federal money that comes our way, we also need to make sure that it's well spent. Not on bridges to nowhere, because that's what that LNG plant will be in 20, 30 years. And let's think about the danger of fracking, pumping into the ground, taking out something, leaving that nasty stuff down in there, which will eventually seep into the aquifer. Now, these guys that do this stuff, that created this stuff, tell us that fracking is absolutely safe and that you can drink it. But when presented to them a glass of fracking water, they don't drink it. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to bottle the fracking water from them, and we're going to send it to the owners and CEOs, and maybe even wrap it in the bottles of water that they're so familiar with. I wonder if they'll discover a difference. I mean, we need to do that for Flint, Michigan right now. We need to do that for all of Michigan, when you think about it. That governor they got there now, oh my. But the people still in Flint haven't had good water, and yet their houses, from what I understand, at one time, they may still be doing it. Gentrification is what they call it. Go in, condemn something, and take it over and sell it really cheap for your buddies in real estate so that they can get a nice return on their investment, whether it be condos or single dwelling homes. And what happens to the people, the residents there? Do we round them up and put them in places so we can take care of them better? Or you can see them on a daily basis? It's sort of like a detaining centers, you know, no need for them to go out. All their needs will be met there. We can monitor the children with the poisoning, and the olders and the seniors too. We can make sure that we're fully aware of any long-term effects that would occur should we do the same thing in another metropolitan area. Yes, I can see our government moving that way to corral them and to put them someplace less than livable. It's not a conspiracy theory, folks. You got to think about the evil that, you know, what our president said with Charlottesville. You know, what did he say? There were good people on both sides. Okay? Good people shouldn't have to get up and stand up like that and fight something that our fathers and grandfathers took out, destroyed. Their leader committed suicide. All the rest of them took poison and shot themselves in the head, and their families too. That's a bunch of sickos. How many history buffs do we have out here? I mean, we're headed down that same road, okay? Not you and me, but we're going to experience it, okay? How do we stop it? Well, we go and we fight. We elect progressives and independents. We get out of the two-party duopoly. We don't make ourselves to where we have to kowtow to the dogma that they push out, the money that they steal, the people that they elect, because those are people who will do exactly what they want. That's why we have now progressives. Yes, they may be in the Democratic Party, but they're not like that. Okay? There are people who believe that they can reclaim the party. There are people in the Republican Party that believe they can reclaim their party. Those are progressives. Those are people who worked across the aisles the whole time. But today's progressives and independents, we're awake. We're going to go there in a block. We're going to go there and start making it better for the citizens, the people of districts that we live in states that we represent. Yeah, we're determined. And we got some spine too. That's what we call backbone. We've all got the Wolverine backbone, okay? We're going to stand up. We're going to shout your voice out. We're going to put that voice down on paper where it wasn't before, with amendments and repeals. That's how it's going to be done, with amendments and repeals. If something is missing something, we add to it and make it whole. We fix the problem in it. If it's just plain out damn nasty, we repeal it. It has no business on our books of law. I mean, like Citizens United, that has no business as being a law or a right. Freedom of speech. How many Washingtons do you have? Well, that's pretty much what the middle class have, is Washingtons. Then you get up there, people talking about Benjamins. We have to reclaim our government, and the only way we can do that is if we register and vote. That's why I'm David Strider, asking for your vote. That's why David Strider is asking for you to pass the word here in Washington. We're reaching a lot of people outside of the state of Washington, but it would be nice to meet even more people here in the state of Washington. I know that we have a general election coming up here in the first week in November, and so we need to make sure what we can do. Get those progressives in the grassroots level elected. That's focus number one. But then we need to start thinking about the primaries of 2017 and the general in 2018. I mean, I think I got that all wrong. Good. But we're going to start in 2017. As soon as these general elections are over here this November, my campaign will be swinging into a much more rigorous activity. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to go to the places you folks are at so we can sit, we can talk, we can address the issues that we have. And I believe your issues are pretty much close to mine. And when you ask how many we're going to do it, quite frankly, I'll tell you. Do you have any questions tonight? You know it's Saturday night. Do you have any more questions or comments? Orange juice. Some of the champagne of Mother Nature. Water. The original champagne. But I found that Orca episode at the beginning, I found it really moving. And to know that, we have submarines here in Puget Sound. Okay, everybody knows we have ships here, carriers, et cetera, tenders, whatever. I mean, it's no news not to, okay? But the sonar that's going off of these ships are probably, some people are saying, damaging the whale population. And it could be very well. But it'd be nice if we could corral those whales away somehow. But I think the whales are going to suffer in the arena of national defense. It'd be nice if we could figure out a way to create a sound. Okay, then if people got submarines watching, other ships watching, or other people on the shore watching, they see the orca, they were here, but now they're there, what? I guess we got shit coming out. Um, so national defense, I'm sure the Navy is working on it. Okay, because they're leaving a sonic trail right now because of the damage to the whales. Think about that, guys. I know I'm a Marine. I shouldn't know too much Navy stuff. My grandfather and my dad were Navy. They enjoyed the time in the service. Grandpa was on battleships. My dad was on the Armed Guard and carriers. Well, do we have any more comments tonight or questions? If not, I'm going to cut class tonight. It's 7:30. It's a Saturday night. We still have time to book on down to the Bijou and watch the latest movie that they have in. You can spend some time with family. After all, it is Saturday night, and it's a great time for a fight. Countdown. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dave Strider. I'm your candidate here in the state of Washington for U.S. Senator. I am an independent. That means I only hear your voice. I don't hear the dogma of a party system. I take no rules except yours, and that's to tell the truth. To fight for you. And I can't fight for you if I'm listening to their voice. Join me. Let's go to the U.S. Senate next year. Good night. Have a great time. I'll see you sometime on Monday at about the same time, 6 o'clock.